many faculties work. One department has many students. This is one to many. Okay, one department. So one to many. One is to m. Can you think of many to one? Many students registered in one course. Okay, many students registered in one course. Student to course. If you say course to student, it is one to many. If you say many students registered in one course, it becomes many to one. Many to many. Go next. You will have example. See, this typically comes in companies. Okay, one employee may be registered, may be assigned to many projects. Okay, and in one project you will have many employees. Okay, so it becomes many to many. So there are four types in cardinalities: one to one, one to many, many to one, and many to many. Okay. Now, there are two types of participations. So entity with relation. Okay, one is total. That means employee belongs to the department. This is total. An employee is always belonging to that department. That becomes total participation. Okay. Whereas the employee has dependent. This is partial. Why? See, in this case, this has is a partial. Why? Because if you take the dependent, okay, the dependent may be related with some other entity also in some other case. For example, I will tell you, in an organization, one employee has dependents, okay, one or more dependents, okay, and that dependent may also be belonging to, for example, he may be a citizen, okay, in that case, he may also belong to the family, in which that is reflected in the ration card. Okay, so the dependent is an entity which can show up partially in the employee in the organization, which can show up partially in the ration card or any other relation. Okay, so that becomes partial relation. Okay, next. So this is what we have seen. Whatever is put in the rectangles is an entity. Ellipse shows the attribute. Then we have multi-valued ellipse. For example, we saw one example like multi-valued attribute. Example, address, okay, and name, okay, phone number. These are all multi-valued. Okay. Then derived ellipse. For example, age. I told you. Age you can derive from date of birth. Okay, so they all become derived attribute. Yeah. The relationships are shown using diamonds. Okay, then we have the links. Then the double lines for total participation. And attribute and underline is the primary. This is one of the important things. Okay, whenever you are designing, we are going to see the steps how we can design a database. In ER model, one of the things which they tell is you must be in a position to identify the key attributes first. If you don't identify the key attributes, if there is any entity which doesn't have a key attribute, remember that it is not a strong entity and we have to handle it carefully. Okay, so every entity must have a key, and that key is going to uniquely identify every tuple or every record in the given database or in given table. This we will not see. Okay, this I will tell you briefly. See, for example, this is called generalization. See, you can see here, I am showing three different entities. One is officer, teller, secretary. So you think of a bank where you have some officer, okay, you have a secretary, then you have a teller. All the three are belonging to the category of employee. Okay, so at the bottom I have specific instances. These are called specific entities, The generalized one is employee. And remember, this employee is also a person because he is a human being, he is a person. Okay. For the person, we give some name, street, city, he lives in some place. Okay. So this is what I call as generalization. The arrow will show you in the this upward direction is called generalization. The down arrow shows that it is specialization. Specialization. That means if you take a person can be an employee or a customer. For customer, I can define using some attributes. Okay, and for employee, I can define using some attributes. And if I take an employee, I can have officer, teller, secretary, manager, and so on. Now, why we are talking about this at this stage is later. Okay, you will also, I think, second year students. Now you will be studying about, you will be studying a course called object-oriented programming. So there you talk about something called inheritance. Correct? This is exactly an example for inheritance. Okay? At the topmost level we have a person. A person has some properties. Okay? They are called, what are the types of properties? No. For every object we have three types of properties. One is either it can be a public property or private property or protected property. Okay, so what we do is, if you take a person, he has some public properties that will automatically get inherited to the employee because every employee is also a person. Okay, then if you take a person, an employee, that employee will have some basic public properties, but there will be some private properties for an officer. For a manager, there will be a manager ID. For an officer, there may be an officer ID. That is private to him. Okay? Private is something which you possess and you don't share with others. Public is something which you share with everyone. Protected is something which you share only with some people and not with everyone. So you call it as in object oriented, you call it as a friend. Okay, you have a function called a friend function using which you will be able to inherit only to some limited set of people. Okay, so this generalization should help you in understanding inheritance. Okay, one more thing I will ask, because we are talking about this, a related thing I will ask. What is abstraction? Sorry? Hiding.